Hi BookTube, my name is Kate and this is my channel, Chapter Kate. Today I'm going to be talking about my bookish pet peeves. Things about books that just annoy the crap out of me. There's a lot of them because I am complicated, difficult. So I'm going to break these into three categories. There's going to be physical things, tropes, and then pretty much everything else. So we're going to start with the physical things that annoy me about books. The first thing is incomplete covers. So here we have three books that I love, and the only thing that drives me bonkers about these three books is that they have this incomplete cover going on. Why? I feel like this cover could have been just fine with a strip of purple going on here. Just, you know, oh, look, there's some reviews and blah, 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 little blurb things. But the whole purpose of the cover is to protect the book. So why is there not one? And on this one, look, you open it and you still have a red line. If you want this page, why not just make this a full freaking cover? Why? Why? I don't understand. Why would they do this to me? The next one I don't really have an example of, but it's like when you have a cover with a photorealistic picture of someone on it. I don't mind so much if it's done at an angle that's creative or if it's artistically altered, but I don't like when it's just straight up a picture of people. You see this a lot of like romance books and a lot of contemporaries when it's just like pictures of people. I don't want pictures of people on my books. No. The next one is fake stickers. It's like when you have the circle thing here, but it doesn't come off, and it's just there forever and eternity. Why? 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 And then after that, of course, I hate real stickers also. Because why would you put a sticker on paper? It rips paper. Why would you do it? Stop doing it. Barnes & Noble, at least some of their stickers are like very easy to remove because they're not like made as sticky. And that's fine. They come off. These are not fine. They don't. They take part of the cover with it and part of my soul as well. Stop. Then we have like movie and TV covers. This is when a book has been made into a movie and they decide to replace the original book cover with a cover representative of the movie or television show. I don't want people's faces on my thing, and I especially don't want actors' faces on my books. Just stop it. Stop. And this also includes when you take a book and you put now a Hulu, whatever the word, series. Now a Hulu original series, or now a major motion picture. I know that. You don't think I know that? I've seen it everywhere. You literally have the book on a now on Netflix table. Stop putting it on the book. Especially when I do it where I can't even remove it. My version of Handmaid's Tale has this ugly butt Hulu thing. Why? Stop it. Stop. And the last one on the physical book pet peeves is when a series is like mismatched. When they have completely different covers and everything. It doesn't go together at all. Why do that? Stop doing that. We don't have many of those because we will like hunt. We will hunt for all the same. You can't always get it. A lot of the Star Wars books we have mismatched things. But here's one just really small example are these Terry Goodkin books. See, these two have one logo. This has a different logo, but this one's got gold and these have reflective silver. Why? Honey, why? Stop. Tropes. So tropes are essential to literature. They're essential to writing. They are familiar to us, and not every story has to have tropes. And tropes aren't horrible if they're done well. But there are some tropes that just grind my gears, man. The first one on this list would be the new expert trope. It's like when someone is new to an activity and suddenly they are better than the experts at that activity. Occasionally this even crosses boundaries of appropriation. For example, this would also apply to the Iron Fist. How in the Iron Fist, he just jumps into a culture that is not his and is immediately an expert and better than everyone. And that is problematic. In books where it's just not an issue of culture, it's just annoying and unrealistic. I need to see them struggle and improve. I need to see those things. Then we have the not like other girls trope. That's when a female main character sets herself apart from other females, and she's constantly like, I'm not like other girls. You know, you wouldn't expect this from a female. Blah, 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 blah. Stop. And usually it puts her above other females, and it's usually involving her having male characteristics. So it's basically saying that men are better than women in that trope. And this is a trope I've actually heard discussed a lot on YouTube as of late. And a couple of books do it. Just a couple of books do that trope. And I just not really into it. Along with that is when a female character or someone refers to the main female protagonist as some characteristic followed by girl. So something girl, something girl. And I've seen it done okay. Like in these books, they're literally the same sort of style of humor as you would see in comic books. So she calls herself Hostage Girl because she gets kidnapped and there's a plane and it's so loud. So she calls herself Hostage Girl, which is, it's kind of a reference to superheroes and comic book language. And that's not like annoying to me. But in other books, when they call them, it's like a serious book and all of a sudden they're calling her something girl, lightning girl or something. It just makes me feel like the language is juvenile and I don't like it. I just can't stand it. So I'm not going to point on any books on this one, but there's definitely a couple that I can think of that do this. I'm going to go put this book back now. And then we have fragile relationships. This is when a friendship, companionship, siblingship, or like romantic relationship is suddenly ended over a simple miscommunication or something so trivial. Kind of an example of this would be Devil Wears Prada. You know how Andy gets the big job and everything, and all of a sudden her friends are like, oh, you're moved on, you're too good for us. Stop. That's not anything for a friendship to be ruined over. No. Or, you know, a romantic partnership where someone walks in on something that looks suspect and they think, oh, you're cheating on me, and if they'd had one conversation, it could have been, nothing would have been bad. It's just sloppy in my opinion. It's very sloppy writing when that happens. Then we have love triangles. Everyone knows what a love triangle is. Honestly, love triangles tie into my final trope, which is just unnecessary love in a book. I understand that love is the deepest emotion some people feel in life. And relationships are the most drama that people have, the most interesting part of some people's lives, and they revolve their entire life around that. However, I don't like when a book does that. I can't stand it. I guess I cannot relate entirely to that because I've never had really any relationship drama. I went through relationships kind of looking at them from a shallow perspective when I was growing up. If I knew I didn't want to end up with someone, I kind of ended the relationship. And I was able to do that. Not everyone is able to do that. When I found someone I knew I loved and I knew that I wanted to be with, I stayed with them. And it was simple. So I guess I don't really like relationship drama and unnecessary love just thrown in there. It doesn't make the story for me. It's not interesting to me. I don't like it. Now for miscellaneous. This is everything else. The first thing on this list would be when there are certain defaults in a book. You pretty much assume everyone's white because they don't describe anybody unless they are someone of color. For example, if you go through an entire book, they don't really describe the main character, but all of a sudden someone comes in and they describe them as having dark skin. Then it's obvious that that person is somehow different than everybody else in the book, and white has become a default. I don't like white being the default. It shouldn't be a default. There are so many more people in this world than white people. We shouldn't be assumed that, everyone looks like us. That's ignorant. The next is when a male author basically decides that every time he describes a woman in his book, he has to make her seem sexy, sensual. You have to describe something about her that's sensual. Like if a woman walks into the room and she's just a waitress and she's not even a vital part of the story, and all of a sudden he describes her jawline and he can imagine kissing up and down the jawline. It's not a romance novel. She's not relevant to a romance. It's from the narrator's perspective and not from a character's perspective. Why do you have to describe that? It's unnecessary, and you don't have to objectify every female that walks into your page. Just saying. This one happens in movies, TV, books. Ugh. And this is when someone says, oh, they were only using 10% of their brain. If they used more than 10% of their brain, then they're gonna get superpowers or something. That's not how brains work. Then there's the, oh, insanity is defined in the dictionary as doing something over and over again, expecting different results. I'm just tired of hearing that phrase over and over again, thinking that I'm going to react to it. I'm tired of it. I work psych. There are so many things that I could just, moving on. I don't like when an author stops to describe every single thing the main character sees or comes into contact with. Like, you don't have to, in the middle of an action sort of part of the book, describe that she looked at the wall. The walls were once she stared upon them bored when she was 5 years old and her father walked in and asked if she would like a popsicle. You don't have to have a memory every 5 seconds. Like, it just destroys the flow of the story if you're stopping every moment to describe something. I understand that descriptions are absolutely vital to storytelling. I understand that having memories is vital to storytelling. Doing it every line is ridiculous. I feel like I can't even get into the story enough to let that speed bump go when I'm reading. And it feels clunky and I can't get through it. I can't keep my attention on that if you're constantly stopping to describe something. And of course there's when a character, usually it's one whose perspective we're focusing upon, looks at somebody, makes eye contact with them, and just knows exactly what they're thinking. And it can be something that's just totally out there and they just knew what they were thinking. I don't like the whole mind reading thing in books. Unless the character literally has mind reading abilities. I also don't like present tense. I don't like when people write in present tense. I hate it. It bores me. Makes me frustrated. Maybe it's because I'm not used to it. I don't like it. And then we have one that just really frustrates me. And this is when an author uses mental illnesses to describe a character's personality traits. Like, oh, they were just bipolar. They were psychotic. They were a psychopath. Like, find better words. I'm actually probably going to do a video on this very topic because just find better words. Get a frickin' thesaurus. Think before you use your words. Words are harmful. They cause problems. Then we have in young adults, there's a lot of death often in fantasies and other things, sci-fi, whatever. There's a lot of death in YA. Why can't people cuss in YA if there's death? No using your words to express yourself, but if you stab someone, that's A-okay with me. The word cerulean. I just don't like the word cerulean. And last, we have text that's difficult for me to read. And this would be stuff like this. It's great, it's artsy, but I can't follow it with my vision. Maybe I'll try the audiobook. And that's all of my bookish pet peeves. Let me know below some of yours if you have any of the same ones as me, if you have different ones than me. If you want to justify some of these pet peeves, that's A-okay too. I need to stop using that phrase, I hate it. So, just let me know below. And if you would like more of this junk, subscribe below. Bye!